All right, good morning, App Properties. I'm Amy Corr, and it's Friday, April 10th. As we're in the midst of celebrating Passover or possibly getting ready for Easter this Sunday, I want to thank you for grabbing coffee and joining me and Kevin Van Eck for another episode of Coffee with Amy and Kevin. Morning, Kevin.
Hey, good morning, Amy. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us again today on this sunny Friday. It's not warm, but it's sunny. And I think it's going to be a great weekend. So today we wanted to focus on a topic that we've touched on in the past, but I think really needs to be a focus. As we talk about our business and we talk about what we're doing to become stronger in our business and relationships with our clients, we want to focus on that relationship part, but with our communities. And so we've asked over the last week for feedback and what you're doing to help support your community and those around you. And we've gotten so many great responses, like overwhelming number of responses. And it's been really fabulous to be able to read those and see how everyone's getting involved. We have a lot of people creating masks and delivering those to healthcare workers and those in need. We have a lot of people delivering food. A lot of people, there was one story that was really moving. There's an agent, a broker, who has a 90-year-old neighbor who can't leave the house. And every day she goes and sits on the patio in the backyard and communicates through the door for a period of time. And she said that she's learning so much from this person. So what we really want to do is get some of these stories so we can also replicate that, so we can learn what other people are doing to support their communities and become involved and be leaders in their community so that we can do the same thing. So we brought on special guests. We have App Properties brokers with us today who shared their story with us. And we found these to be unique and something that each one of us can learn something from and then take out into our own communities.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. I know I wish that we could have had every story on because I think for us, we were talking about ending this week on a note that just really focused on, I think something so important right now, which is, community and everything that, we can be doing, I think, to, work towards getting to, the other side of COVID-19. So I'm really excited to have Ginger Bonneau as one of our first featured guests. Ginger is from the Goose Island office and has been with App Properties longer than me, so pretty long time. So Ginger, I wanted you to share with everybody and, tell us a little bit about what you're doing to make an impact in your community or with some of your community members.
Morning, Amy. Thank you so much for having me. So my community, I didn't have far to look. I know people that are directly affected by COVID and coronavirus who are at home. And two members have been diagnosed with it. So I picked up groceries. Like every other day, I would take them something. I would make an extra meatloaf. I would take a gallon of milk. I would pick up their mail. Just little things. Didn't cost a lot of money, little bit of time, little bit of creativity, and that was it. So the other thing that I've done is people who are living in a high-rise who literally have nowhere to go. They have no outdoor space. They have no gym that's open in the building. They have no balcony. So I would go to and take them a treat. I'd write them a note. I'd leave something outside their door. Again, it didn't cost much money, a little bit of time, and I was always safe when doing it. Like I'd have gloves on, or I'd wear a mask, or I just tried to do nice things because when you're in the house all the time, days are long. And so I just tried to brighten people's day as easily as I could.
That's so great. And so how did you make contact, especially I think with the folks who, are currently affected by COVID-19?
So it's a real good friend of mine. She lives in a 2-flat. Her parents live downstairs and her parents were both diagnosed. And then she was diagnosed as well. So she and I are in contact all the time anyway. But then other people I would see on Facebook just kind of being stuck at home. And one girl that I know also, she's young and she has a pacemaker and she was afraid to leave her apartment. So I literally just went to her building and picked up her packages and took them up to her door. That was it. Like super simple and, really easy and thoughtful at the same time.
That's so great. And, the thing is that Facebook is such a great way to really kind of find out what is going on with individuals so that you are able to help. I know how challenging it is right now. I just talked to somebody who is in an apartment, actually in a condo, in a high rise, but it's really tough right now because you don't get to, enjoy any of the amenities. And if you have, limited outdoor space, you really are cooped up all day long. So how are the COVID patients doing right now? Do you know? What's their update?
They're doing wonderfully. No fevers, only a slight cough. They were lucky they caught it early. They were able to get a test. They were able to get antibiotics right away, and they're doing great. They're expected to have full recoveries.
That's so great. You know what, Ginger, thank you so much. It's people like you that, make those differences out there. So we really appreciate you taking the time and making an impact in your community.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Ginger. I think that was really helpful too, because sometimes we know that there are people that we could help, but that first step in reaching out sometimes is difficult. Just do it, right, Ginger? Just do it. Just if you know that they need help, if you know that you can bring their packages to them, or you know that they may need groceries, just reach out because they need it. So thank you. So I want to introduce now Angela Greenfield. She's from the Western Springs office. And she shared with us what she's doing in her community. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I would love to share with you guys what I'm doing. So I have a good friend who is the supervisor for the Orland Township, and we have a food pantry. And so on Sunday, I just thought, I'm going to reach out and see how I could help and what I could get, because so many people must be reaching out now to get food. And then I saw your email come out that said, what are you doing for the community? And I thought, wow, I could turn this into something that I do for the community. So I decided to take it to the next step, where I'm going to do a neighborhood collection. And I'm just going to reach out, via email to all of the people that I know that I could actually send them what I'm collecting. And then I'm going to advertise it on Facebook. And I'm going to use my house as the local drop off. And if people don't want to drop it off, if they will put it on their porch for me, I will pick it up. So once I collect everything, I will sanitize it all, and then I will drop it off at the food pantry in Orland. Because right now, I just feel like more and more people will be using the pantry, people that are out of work and seniors that don't want to leave the house, because they're actually taking it to the next step for them as well, where they're doing at-home deliveries for them and curbside pickups.
Is there any fear because I want to cross this barrier too and put this behind us. We know we're an essential service. We know that there are brokers out there working still, but in doing this and having people drop stuff off, you being the one sanitizing, do you have any fear in being involved in handling any of this?
So I don't, because I'm going to have it dropped off on my porch or by my garage. And most things they say, if it sits, it's fine. I'm going to have gloves on. I'm going to take it out of the bag. I'm going to do it in my garage. I'm not bringing it in my own home. And then I'll put it in new bags that I have. So I'm not really that concerned. I'm not going in anybody's houses to pick anything up. So I feel it's safe enough for me to pick up. And most of the people I feel like I know. And it's just I'm picking it from their porch or they're putting it on mine. So within sitting, I don't really think I'll have any issues.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. One question I have, if you could follow up with us as the weeks go on and as you collect this and you deliver it, would you be willing to share photos with Coffee with Amy and Kevin?
Yeah, for sure. I would love to.
All right, great. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. So I think that the moral there is watch what's happening on Facebook and how you can get involved. So not only with individuals like Ginger is, but also the neighborhood support that we have, community shelters, community pantries, all of these other entities need a lot of support too, because I'm sure they're understaffed and they're probably overwhelmed, like Angela was talking about, with demand now, with folks using and needing essentials from the pantry. So thank you.
And then one other thing that I could add for us as agents, if we're going to do something like this, we could also reach out to our elderly clients and let them know what the township is offering, because a lot of people don't know that. So if we have elderly clients, we could reach out and tell them that the township is now delivering essential items like water, and they're also picking up prescriptions and stuff like that. So a lot of people don't even know this service is being offered right now because they've never done it before. And also the curbside pickup, because people don't want to go in places. So if we could just, educate our clients that this is going on, it's another way for us to reach out.
Yeah, absolutely. Angela, thank you so much. It's really important because I think we assume that, everybody's on Facebook, but when we look at some of the elderly in our community, they don't necessarily know everything that's going on. So really great. Keep us posted on what's going on. We'd love to see and hear about some additional successes. So I wanted to move on to Alisa Galoozis, who is from the Downers Grove office. And she's doing something super fun. I know it's Easter this weekend, and I know it's oftentimes it's freezing. Sometimes it's warm on Easter, but we usually have the Easter egg hunts that are in our different communities. And unfortunately, we're having to adjust some of the things that we're going to be doing this year. And so I wanted Alisa to come on and share with us what she's doing to kind of convert or change what has normally been her neighborhood Easter egg hunt that she's been in charge of. So Alisa, welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Yes, so this year would have been my 4th year that I held our community Easter egg hunt. I've been a resident here for 18 years. So we put on I put my husband in a bunny suit and the kids spread all the eggs through the field and the neighborhood. It was a really big event for the community where, it was so fun to see the kids running down the street, running to see the bunny. And we had photos with the bunny. It was a fun event for us as a family to stuff 2,000 Easter eggs. And this year we had to cancel, and it was, it was sad to know we had to do that, but I had to come up with another plan. So this year I decided we would do bunny visits to the front yard. So we sent out our flyers, or I should say I sent out the flyers. My kids and I got on their skateboards and we delivered them to the neighborhood and to our clients and said, we've got to still have this event and we're going to come to your front door. So we are going to come to the yard. We're going to leave eggs on the yard if you register, and have a social distancing photo of the bunny from the window and wave. And the response from the community has been unbelievable. And I was thinking, well, people are going to be kind of nervous about the bunny in the front yard and how are they going to handle it? But everybody was so excited, and it seems to be bringing kind of a light where there's a cloud, and we're super excited to get out there on Saturday and lay Easter eggs. We have 60 houses have already committed, so hopefully at this point we can make them all.
Yeah. So that's so great. And so how did you promote this? It was flyers, but did you also post it on Facebook or?
Yep, I did a lot of social media posting. I did emails also to my clients, and the ones closer we're definitely going to go to. But what I did do was a lot of neighborhood specific Facebook targeting. So I, zoned in on the zip code and the subdivision, and we have a couple of subdivision websites or social media sites that I tagged on to. So.
Mm-hmm. That's so great. So what we would love for you to do is make sure to take tons of pictures. I'm sure that the kids are going to be thrilled. I know my kids are already asking, what are we doing this Easter? So if the bunny can get in a car and head over to Wilmette, I'll send you my address. But I think it's such a great idea because, as adults, we all get kind of why we have to shelter in place and distance ourselves. But, for the young kids, it's really hard, especially as you're hitting into a holiday this weekend. So we're excited to hear that you're going to bring, some smiles and some joy to your neighborhood. So please take pictures, and we need a little bit of content for our Instagram, Coffee with Amy and Kevin. So please share it with us. We love it. And thank you, Alisa, for what you're doing. So.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're super excited. We will have tons of photos, and it's not going to rain and be beautiful. So we're just excited to be able to see a little smile on a kid's faces right now, where it's just such a crazy time. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Amy, I just want to offer this up. I don't have any children, and I do have a panda bear costume. So if you want me in your yard on Sunday morning,
yes.
I can make it happen.
I'm texting you our address right now.
Perfect. All right. Thank you. So now I want to go to Shayne Wulbert, and Shayne is out of our East Lincoln Park office, and she shared this total out-of-the-box idea that she did. So I think it's really interesting. Shayne, would you be willing to tell us what you did in your community? You live in the West Loop, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in the West Loop, and I noticed that several of the little kids would just kind of stare out their balcony windows. I live in a townhome complex where the driveway is kind of the main hub of where the kids, go on their scooters, they bike ride, and they interact with each other. And it's just, the driveway's just been empty, and kids are kind of looking out their balcony windows at each other, and it was a sad scene. Combined with the fact that I had been to Costco and apparently don't know how to appropriately buy food for these kinds of situations, and just bought like giant boxes of candy bars. And so I had all these candy bars sitting around the house, and was just thinking about what could I do that would be fun for the kids so that they could kind of play together. And the idea of bingo came to my mind. And the truth is they could all sit on their balconies and have fun together. So I created bingo sheets and printed them out and put them in everyone's mailboxes and texted all my neighbors for the kids to all come out at the same time. And and then I downloaded an app, because there's a bingo calling app, because there's an app for everything. And they all came out, went down in the driveway, and I called about 8 or 9 games of bingo. And then whenever someone would win, they'd get to pick a candy bar and put it down. And they wanted to just keep going, and they had a really great time. And it was after, and the parents were relieved because they were over the homeschooling for the day. And it was just a nice way for everyone to get out and laugh and communicate.
That's really cool to hear. I think, number one, I'm envisioning these children shouting off their balconies into the future, asking for you to call bingo games every day, because I'm sure it was so much fun. That's really cool. So how did you come up with this idea? I mean, really, like, what was the thought process? You saw kids that were on their balcony looking sad. And, how did you come up with this? And what could an agent do in the same way? Or is there another game that you could see being a good balcony game they could play?
You know what I've been seeing a lot of on just like different neighborhood Facebook groups. I was a little bit inspired by the way that people in the South Loop have been communicating with each other, and like they do like I think at 8 o'clock at night, they do a bunch of like disco lights, like flashing lights to like celebrate the nurses and doctors in the hospitals. And a lot of the high rises are close enough together in the South Loop that people can see each other's windows. I've been seeing a lot of people doing like hangman games where they put like a hangman noose in the window, and then they put up the letter to see if they've got the word. So I've been seeing a lot of different fun ways for people to communicate, but bingo was one where we could all, be outside at the same time and our balconies were close enough together. But I have been brainstorming because it was very successful, thinking of other games that we could play. So if anybody wants to sound off and, let me know other ideas, because it was a lot of fun and it was just nice to actually talk to people outside.
That's really cool. So 2 things. One is great. I mean, congratulations on coming up with something totally different and unique. So, and thank you for sharing. On my way back Sunday in the panda costume from Amy's house, I'm going to stop by and pick up some candy bars, if that's okay with you.
We still have a few left. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. Thank you so much for sharing, Shayne.
No problem.
Thanks, Shayne. And really thanks to, to all 4 of you. It's interesting. Every story is a little bit different, but I think what really is at the heart of it is focusing on community right now. And, when Kevin and I were talking about, what to focus on this Friday, I know we're talking so much about moving your business forward and, keeping busy and making sure that you come out of, this experience stronger with your business. And we think that that's crucial because, that is important for your livelihood. But there also is this real life component of what's going on in the world right now. And, for both Kevin and I, we feel like we can't forget that. And, what we think is so amazing is that as we reach out and we ask for feedback from so many people, we're getting great stories like these that people are sharing about how they're impacting community. And it isn't really teed up with how this is going to push my business moving forward. But I'm such a big believer that if you really just focus on the community and who needs help right now, all of that is going to come into play later on down the road as we sort of get back to usual and get back to business. So, I just really encourage all of us out there right now to take a step back and think, what can I do? How can I make an impact? How can I be a leader right now? Because there are so many people who are not necessarily in as good of a space as we are personally and could really use some help. And it's as simple as, the Easter Bunny showing up at your, 6 feet away from your front door to drop off Easter eggs, to somebody who could really use some help navigating how to get food in this time of need and doesn't even know that the food pantry is available and is dropping stuff off. So we really appreciate these stories. We'd love for these to continue. We really want you to get out there and think about community and just enjoy yourselves. Again, I know there's a few holidays that we are celebrating this weekend, but we really encourage you to find some time for yourselves. Find some time to spend with your loved ones and your family members, and just hang in there. We've got a ways to go. There's a lot more for us to do, but we're all in this together, and we're here to support you. And Kevin and I are here to continue to share stories. So we will plan to see you on Monday.
That's right. Thanks. Well said, Amy. I think one thing that I would add to that, and you said it, I want to reiterate this, is that anything you do doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't need to be some big, grandiose idea. Shayne had something great in the bingo that was out of the box. But what other people are doing, what Ginger shared with us, all these ideas, it doesn't need to be something so complicated. It can be just reaching out to someone who is alone. So don't make, being a part of your community or being a leader in your community this high level, high bar that you have to hit. Just do something small. And continuously do that. Do small things for those around you. So thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Ginger, Shayne, Alisa, Angela, thank you. And we'll see you on Monday. In the meantime, continue to send us those stories like Amy asked for. We have a new email address. We're big time. It's coffee@properties.com. A little bit easier than the last one. So please share your stories or any questions, concerns, any topic ideas that you might have or want to share. Please send those to coffee@properties.com. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you. Have a great weekend. Thanks for joining, ladies.